Hello, friends. I am recording from the past. I'm actually recording this on Friday, August 9th, because I am taking a little vacation. So I'll have this uploaded and ready to go for those of you teaching on the 18th. So feels kind of weird to be thinking this far ahead, but it also is kind of nice to be a little ahead of the game. We are continuing in our series on the Lord's Prayer, just because I don't really know exactly what Rick is going to be talking about and want to make sure that the kids have a coherent lesson rather than trying to track Pastor Rick down on everything. So we're going to be talking this week about provision. So the part traditionally in the Lord's Prayer, we talk about our daily bread. Um, Love talking about this with kids, and I think the lesson should work pretty well. As you can hear in the lesson, I'm going to bake some bread the night before, so you'll have some fresh bread to have in the classroom as a visual, but also to let kids have a bite of it if they can. We need to check on gluten allergies, just so kids get a chance to participate. I actually do have some gluten-free bread that from I can use actually from a wedding. So anyway, we'll have a chance for kids to partake and remember that God is their provider. Especially in the older classrooms, you might encounter people who have some touchy feelings about provision. Maybe they've grown up in poverty, or just parents that haven't been very generous with them. I don't think that'll be an issue with first through third grade, but it could come up with the older kids. And that happens, I trust you. Roll with it. Talk about the reality of God as a provider, but that we live in a world that isn't always just. That God has given everything enough in this world for everyone, and we actually hold some responsibility to be generous as well, to join in God's generosity in that way. So that comes up, you can always call me in as well. I'd be happy to do so. So I hope everything is going well. And if you have questions about this, you can't contact me until Saturday, August 17th. I'll be on vacation till then. But you can touch base with Julie in the office, and I'm sure she can help you out. All right, with that, let's get into our lesson. No introductory game this week. So do introduction through prayer and sharing, highs and lows. Give kids a chance to pray, and then pray through their highs and lows as they ask them. And then this will be the lesson. We're continuing to talk about the prayer that Jesus taught his friends. It's a special prayer because it teaches us how to pray. That God is our dad, that he is holy, that he is king. He's doing amazing work on earth. Let's practice the prayer again this morning. Our Father in heaven, holy is your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Provide for us today what we need, and forgive us our sins, as we forgive those who sin against us. Keep us from falling into temptation, and protect us from evil. You all are getting so good at this prayer. Today we're going to talk about provision. Provide for us today what we need. That's what provision means. But Jesus actually says something more like, give us today our daily bread. And at that point, you can pull out the bread that I'll provide for you. Look at this loaf of bread. It's fresh, and I think it's going to be delicious. If we share, we can all have some, and we will at the end. We maybe will even get full. However, could we eat only this one loaf of bread for a week? A month? Of course not. That's why Jesus says we need to ask for our daily bread. Sometimes I want God to give me enough of something forever. All the money, food, stuff that I will ever need. But God doesn't work that way. God meets us daily. He gives us what we need daily. This part of the prayer is probably helping people remember that God did give enough bread each day when God's people were wandering the desert with Moses. What do you need from God? How can you talk to God about your needs? Remember, God is a good parent. He wants to give good gifts to his kids. Jesus says that a good parent gives bread to his children who ask. So, what are some things that you feel like you need from God? So, go ahead and let the kids say things they need every day. Roll with silly answers, gently remind them that bread sustains, while PlayStation 5s sadly do not. Now, at this point, if I was in the 4th and 5th grade classroom, I'd probably tell a personal story about God's provision. So for me, I'd probably talk about when I was a college student. I was invited to go on a mission trip to China, and I had to raise $3,000 to go. And I was very intimidated about raising that kind of money. And there were lots of people in my life that said, you can't raise that kind of money. It's too much. You probably just shouldn't go. But I faithfully sent out my fundraising letters. I made phone calls back. And eventually, God provided every dollar I needed to go to China. And it kind of came in all at the last minute. I was getting really nervous. But God was faithful to provide what I needed for the thing that He had invited me to do. So I would tell a story like that. And then I move into summary. God is a parent and a king who provides for his children. We can ask for our needs. God does come through. And then for application, to help make this prayer real for us, I'm going to have you pray for something that you need. It doesn't need to be huge. It can be something simple. Enough food for today, a good night's sleep, for a new friend at church. And after you do so, I invite you to eat a piece of this bread. And the bread is just a simple reminder that God comes through with our daily bread, that we can trust Him. All right, that's what I have for you today. It's a pretty simple lesson. Hopefully the bread is a big hit. I know once when I made it for junior youth, the kids were like amazed that I made them bread. And they felt like it was such a cool thing to have fresh bread. So hopefully it's a big hit. Hopefully it tastes good. I'm kind of a 50-50 on bread making. And yeah, again, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. Yeah, hope you're well, and I'll talk to you soon.